The title's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to be doing bad musical impressions and talking about awkward crush stories. Let's just jump straight into the first impression. Like I said, these are going to be bad. Here we stand with apart hearts broken and two. Sleepless nights, losing ground, I'm reaching for you, you, you. Feel that it's gone, can't change your mind. If we can't go on to survive the tides, love divides. Someday love will find you, break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you how we touched and went our separate ways. So let's journey the glorious Steve Perry. First awkward, first awkward crush story. Who should I start with? Feels like we're hanging out. Oh, let me look. I know that I have. So I'm the type of person that I fall in love like at the drop of a hat. I see someone and I'm instantly just putting that through my mind like, I'm pretty sure that's the love of my life. And that just at any moment, it's going to bust out and be one of those romantic comedies. Well, hopefully, yeah, comedy. Because if it's a romantic drama, one of us is going to die, and I'd prefer to live. I prefer both of us to live. Ooh. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. So, the first crush that I can really remember is so boundaries. Do I have them? No, probably not. Did I have them as a small child? Definitely not. So this guy was a ginger, and he was the first ginger that I had ever seen, and I called him Orangeade with a friend of mine who also had a crush on him, which I totally didn't take her also liking him as like competition or anything, because I was like, come on, like it'll be fine, she'll be fine when we start dating and we're finally in love. So he lived close to one of my best friends at the time, and I was like, they actually hung out a lot, so I would call her house basically just to see if she was like playing with him or if he was over at her house so that I could talk to him. And lo and behold, he liked another girl, not me or my friend. And that shit hurted, bro, because it was, I mean, in kid time, if you like somebody longer than a week, that's basically like a few years. That's love in the time of cholera, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a long time. So I think when he moved there, because he got there sometime in like the middle of the school year, how old was I? Like 8 or 9? I don't know. Definitely not my first crush, but we're not going to talk about the other ones because oof. But he was my first like intense crush, which that didn't get much better through the years. Unfortunately, still like people a little too much. It's fine. It's a disorder. But it was really sad at the time. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe he doesn't like me. It was just hard. Okay. Aretha Franklin. What? Why don't they have it? Look at my love. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. 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 Look at my love floating away. He's the kind of guy that would say, hey baby, let's get away, let's go someplace far where I don't care. He's the kind of guy that you give you everything, your trust, your heart, share all of your love, till death do you part. I wanna be when he wants it, and whenever he needs it. Now that he's known some feeling of start, I'll be there to feed it. Loving him a little bit more each day. Turns me right on when I hear him say, hey baby, let's get away, let's go somewhere far. Baby, can we? Hey. You forgot we were doing bad impressions, didn't you? So, Aretha Franklin, Daydreaming. I love that song. It's so good. I can't sing it, but it's okay. Um, so let's just prattle off some of my imaginary crushes. And by that I mean crushes that I had on celebrities between roughly the ages of like 9 and 11. I've had a thing for people that don't like me back for a very long time, and I've only recently gotten over that, really, like probably in the past couple of years. Being like, yeah, it probably won't ever work out to like people that definitely you'll never meet, and that have basically told you, like, totally not interested, like, ooh. Um, so, Elijah Wood, oh, to this day. I mean, first love. No, he's definitely Elijah Wood from Lord of the Rings and doing the press circuit for that when he had the really short hair and was like going around in like this um, brown corduroy jacket, and when he was in The Faculty, growing up and seeing him in other movies, and then the internet existed so I could see other things that he was in, and I watched, what was it? I don't know what I was expecting. Okay, so I looked it up on the internet to see the rest of his filmography. Is that the proper term? I don't know. Um, to see what else he had been in. And I watched Back to the Future, like explicitly to see him. And I'm like, oh my god, super hot Elijah Wood. Super hot Elijah Wood's gonna be in this. Joke's on me. He was like so small. He was the smallest he's ever been on screen that I've seen. He was a small child. And I was like, I watched this whole movie just not realizing that he was gonna just be a little kid in it. But considering that it was made in the 80s, I should have known. She should have known. Um, but I didn't. And I was embarrassed and sad because I was like, oh my god. But he was very cute. Oh my gosh. I miss the earth so much. I miss my wife. 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite bathing. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me right again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rockin' man, rockin' man. So that's Elton John. Um, uh, so since we're going in order, who do I want to do next? Oh wait. So aside from Elijah Wood though, it was Devon Sawa because he was just fucking primo. Um, that movie Idle Hands, I'm pretty sure that I watched it an ungodly amount of times. Diego Luna, when Dirty Dancing Havana Nights came out, oh my god, oh my god. Like, words cannot express how interested I became in being able to dance. um, so much so I was doing cheer routines with my cousins at the time. Um, but no, I think two of the biggies happened within the middle school years. Um, I feel like that's normally where we have like our worst relationship encounters, hopefully, if we're lucky. And so I had a crush on my best friend. Let's call him let's call him Apples because he had a really strange name. So I feel like that's fitting. So me and Apples were like two peas in a pod. We were so close. He talked on the phone while he was pooping. I thought that meant we were getting married when we were older. But it just turned out that he was so comfortable with me and definitely didn't see me like that. um, so I was part of this like friend group at the time where there was 5 of us, and I've always been big. I've always basically looked like this, which is hard when you're 11 and you like a boy that looks like he's also 11. So here I am just rolling up to school looking like somebody's mom and being in love with this boy at the time and having friends that, Hollister and all of those things at the time were just it. Like being, 12 pounds, that was everything. And they were killing it. Me, not so much. And also, I was really goth from like 10 to 14, just like dramatically goth. And is there any other way? Um, they all had a crush on him too. So we sort of had this friendship and communication over the fact that, like, oh my god, he's so cute. He's the best. Like, who's gonna get him? Can't believe it. And I was like, is he on the phone with you bitches while he shits? Like, not. Me thinking that that meant something. It didn't. Um, so he's asking me advice because he's like, oh man, I like all these girls. And I was like, don't you? And he didn't mean me anywhere in that. So I was like, you know what? I think that out of all this time has gone by, maybe you should just give up on them, just confess to the one person that you liked, which created drama, and everyone was mad at me because they thought that I was going to be like, sorry, my phone went off. What was I saying? Oh, God, I hate when you miss a thought. But basically, it created a whole bunch of drama, and they thought that I was trying to sabotage everything, which, what did you expect? I liked him too. I liked him a lot. So we're going on to this field trip to, what is it, the Space Center or the Science Museum somewhere in Richmond. And like, I'm just having the best time at first because him and I are sitting next to each other. I'm like, I told you. Like, we've been new. But he made up with them on the trip. So he didn't sit with me on the way back. I was so sad. I played Eleanor Rigby on my on my disc walk, on my CD player, like the whole way home until it died. And he tried to talk to me after it died because I'm pretty sure that you could hear the music was no longer playing. And I pretended that I couldn't hear him. And we were never friends again after that. Yeah, he made up with them and started dating one of them. Me and the girls stayed friends, but after that, him and I just were never really friends again. All those poop talks and, me supporting his acting career by, oh, that was so embarrassing too. I went to this acting thing, this casting with him to be in a short movie that he was shooting at a different school the one weekend, and he invited the other girls too. But, you live and you learn. Not every friend is meant to be a lover. How's that one song go? By Mimi Ripperton. I got you as a lover and friend. I don't know. Around the same time, mind you, like, everyone dresses normally. I cannot stress this enough. I'm probably the oddest looking person at my school for years. Like, dressed the strangest. And I also acted really weird. I'm not gonna lie. But I really liked this guy that was a year older than me. Like, I'm talking, this was the closest I've ever gotten to stalking. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of it. What should we call him? Oh, the flashbacks, the chills. We'll call him the Italian. Oh my god, did I use the other guy's name? Oh no, I didn't. I don't think I did. I called him Apples. Whatever. Okay, so fine. So we'll call him the Italian. He was super tall. Like, so tall. And here I was, like I said, I'm looking like somebody's middle-aged stepmom. Like, this is where we're at like 10, 11. Okay? So I'm like, oh my god, he's super tall. Like, we'll look like a normal couple walking around together because he looked older too. So, a squeezy. So I see him and I'm instantly like, oh my gosh, I need to know who that person is. I need to know what his name is. So I'm going through the babyish yearbook at the time for the place that I was going to school at. And he was in there. So I looked from the yearbook, looked him up in the phone directory, and I started calling him. He did not know me. And I scared him. So I was friends with a girl that was friends with the Italian, and I was like, so what does he think of me? Like, does he know about me? Has he seen me around? Just me, full on, just death glare walking down the halls, just red eyeliner underneath. They didn't even make red eyeliner at the time, like before this explosion of makeup, so I was using straight up lip pencil red, bright ass red underneath my eyes, making it look like my eyes were bleeding. Just being like, does he think I'm like the cutest thing or what? Which, of course, this is definitely the age that, you start to care about what you look like to the opposite sex and care about how you're perceived by your peers, like where it really starts to matter. So he was like, no, I haven't seen her. And I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna just do a walk by. So I did my best to just like be around. But when I started calling him, I was just basically interrogating him, like, what's your favorite things? What do you like to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's your favorite cartoon? It was a lot. And he realized it was a lot. And one day when I called him, after also finding his instant messenger email. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this, like, I'm angry at but I am. I am angry at myself and embarrassed. But I found his Insta Messenger and I started messaging him on there on top of calling him. And like I sent him an email being like, hey, like I don't know about you, but I'm like, I kind of like you. So I finally admitted it to him after like weeks of calling him. And by the time I called him again, um, his dad was like, hey, so this is really creepy. We're gonna press charges if you don't stop calling my son. I was like, I'm 11. Like, oh man. Oh, it was hard. It was hard. Um, what's a good what's a good song to leave you on the note of? Scusi. My song given half and half knows kun gnusui new kind of life no kun yo kun and jadan and chung who knows piano kushibuga. I know Michiru no kushibuga. I know Sarang Sile kushibuga. I know, yeah, I know. Cause me. No. I don't know. I can't think of one. Hmm. Come, 'cause here I come. I am so distracted. Yeah, I think that that's all the cringe that I can take in one video. So we'll do a part two because there's way more. Like I said, I fall in love literally at the drop of the hat. So, but it never got again to be that bad. Let me just clarify that. Like I was never once again like, oh, I'm innocently scrolling through. It wasn't innocent. I was definitely like focused. Wanted that guy to be my boyfriend so bad because I was like, oh my god, he's so tall. Which that was the only criteria I think at the time because no one was taller than me for years. Um, but thank you so much for coming and for watching this. It's been fun. The world is falling apart, so I guess, every clown has its time to shine. Thank you and goodbye. Look forward to a second one, maybe, if I can muster the internal courage.